We journey to Canaan to explore Bayleaf Suites, a holiday spot that offers comfortable accommodation and that home away from home experience. Now, a lot has happened in Tobago since the last episode, so we have quite the show this week. I'm Davia Chambers, and this is Let's Talk Tobago. We take you to Glen Road to join the police service community meeting. What means these stones? New book launched at the Scarborough Library, and later we tell you what's being done in Tobago to treat with diabetes. These stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago continues. Stay with us.
Happy times. Summer car done, summer car, 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 summer car done, yeah, summer car.
Bayleaf Suites was established in 2010 by entrepreneur Beverly Adams to offer a special experience to local and international visitors. Now, this holiday home has always been her brainchild, and with the right amount of space, finances, and support, she was able to bring it to reality. We take you from Canaan now to join us at Glen Road for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Town Meeting, which encouraged residents to voice concerns on issues affecting them and the wider community. Caroline Wallace tells us more.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has taken its outreach meetings to the community of Glen Road. There, residents got the chance to air their concerns about safety and security in the area and give suggestions for improving their challenges.
People are coming into our community and trying to destroy it. The thing is, though, we need to know who we are renting to. We have apartments, we need to do background checks. We need to do checks and balances. It's not about the money, it's about the people in the community.
So I will ask you, if you are renting places to people, one of the first things you do when they come, get their name, their address, their date of birth, and ask the police, can you tell me something about this person?
Police confidentiality was a major concern for many of the residents.
You call the police to say, this was going to happen. And when the police reach, nothing is happening, because the police will call, and we know that happened. We know realistically, we know it happened.
Once we find out that a police officer is doing things that is contrary to the law, he's not above the law, and you will appreciate that there are several police officers who are now before the court because of certain kind of behaviors.
Even issues affecting individual residents, such as predatory larceny, were raised with police officers. The town meetings are aimed at creating closer collaboration between the public and police officers. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
The property is located in the owner's backyard in Canaan. It's a 10-minute drive from the A&R Robinson International Airport and is in close proximity to the mall, beaches, and restaurants. It's a perfect vacation getaway spot. Now, coaches and volunteers participated in a disability camp workshop hosted by the Department of Sport. The coaches received their Level 1 certificates. We have all the details in this report.
Sporting success on the world stage isn't new to Tobago. From former national football captain Dwight York to powerful Paralympian Akeem Stewart, the island continues to produce top talent. And Tobago is building on Akeem's achievements by providing additional support for disabled athletes. The Department of Sport recently hosted a 4-day disability workshop for coaches. They learned about concepts in Paralympic sport, structural differences, and how to create and effectively manage an inclusive coaching session. The workshop also included people who were just interested in understanding how to work with athletes who have disabilities. Once they satisfied the requirements of the program, participants were awarded Level 1 certificates at the closing ceremony of the workshop.
We focused on the inclusion of persons with disability in sport and the importance of such, because persons with disabilities have been excluded, and so through sport we can include persons with disabilities. So we went through various aspects of sport where we look at the different types of disabilities.
The games created during the workshop are interactive and encourage the para-athletes to participate and have fun. Mr. Stewart, who recently returned from a double gold performance in the World Para-Athletic Championships in London, was a special guest at the workshop. He is thanking the participating coaches for wanting to learn about athletes with disabilities. He also had some words for the aspiring athletes.
Me being an athlete with a disability, it helped me. Even though I'm disabled, I am able to compete and show the world what Trinidad and Tobago could do and what people with disabilities can do. So what you all learn during the course, I would like to say continue training to develop, and hopefully one day I could see you all representing Trinidad and Tobago like me.
Senior Sport Development Officer Sheridan Kirk says he's benefited significantly from participating in the workshop.
This program definitely opened my mind. It opened the opportunity for me to experience and learn how to deal with children and persons with disability on a whole. I'm definitely going to try to utilize some of the tools that we learned in this program in moving forward and in developing programs for children on a whole, because we need to teach everyone about disability.
The participants were also urged to use their new skills to create sport programs that include children with disabilities. I'm Kern DeFreitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
The name of the property was inspired by the herbs in the owner's garden. Bay leaf is a powerful spice and can be used multiple ways. The sweets in this holiday home also carry the name of herbs such as dill, tansy and sage. Now this. Chief Secretary Kelvin Charles made it his duty to stop by the Happy Haven camp to tour and interact with the youngsters. We have all the details in this next report. Take a look.
Children of all ages acquired new skills while having fun at various vacation camps across Tobago. But there's one camp that stands out from the rest, the Happy Haven Integrated Summer Camp. The camp encouraged students with and without special needs to interact and learn under one roof. The camp is raising awareness about the importance of integrating those with special needs into society.
What we decided to do in terms of awareness is to have a camp during the July-August vacation. I mean, parents have been asking for this for the longest while, where we could bring in our children with special needs alongside their peers in regular ed schools, those without special needs, to bring a sort of awareness to those children.
The camp spanned 2 weeks. It's the first of its kind to be hosted by the Happy Haven School. Chief Secretary Kelvin Charles visited the school to meet the participants. The theme for the camp was You Are One in a Million. Over 30 children participated.
We want to tell those kids who are not really academic geared that there's nothing wrong in learning skills. So this was an acquisition of skills, more or less, because we had things like home management, where the kids were able to make their goodies. We had gardening, we had art and craft, we had floor hockey, the adapted form that children with special needs would play.
The organizers feel having children interact with their special needs peers is important. It will allow them to grow up being more aware of the need for greater inclusion.
We started awareness with the adults, but we say let us take it a step further by going to the children, because these are the ones who have to grow up with other children with special needs in the communities. So we just wanted to show them it's okay to sit alongside them and work with them.
At the end of the tour, the organizers of the camp presented the Chief Secretary with a token of appreciation. I'm Kern DeFreitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
We have to take a break, but when we return, what means these stones? New book launched at the Scarborough Library. Don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Happy times. Summer car done, summer car, 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 summer car done, yeah, summer car.
These suites are ideal for large families as the property sleeps a maximum of 12 people. There are 2 one-bedroom suites, 1 two-bedroom suites, and 1 studio suite. What Means These Stones is the latest publication launched in Tobago by author Susan Craig James. The book creates a link to Tobago's past, spanning more than 2 centuries. Here are the details in this report.
At first glance, it might appear to be just another book about a historical building. But for the keen observer, the title What Mean These Stones? A study of Christianity and education in Tobago from 1808 to 1872 betrays a more critical link to Tobago's past, spanning more than 2 centuries. The publication was launched recently by renowned historian, sociologist and author Susan Craig James at the Scarborough Library facility. The book was commissioned in 2015 by St. Andrew's Heritage Trust of the Anglican Church of Tobago. It marked the restoration of the Scarborough Scots Kirk, or Scottish Church, built by the Presbyterians. Mrs. Craig James says she'd like to see more focused efforts in recording the island's history.
We have to write our history down. Scots Kirk itself is a good example of what happens when everything is oral. It was built between 1834 and 1837. The generation born in 1850 knew that it had been a church and later a school. The generation born in 1880 knew that it was a school, and they were arguing about whether it had been a consecrated church. My generation, even those of us who went to school there, never even heard the words Scots Kirk.
Mrs. James, holder of the Shakonia Medal Silver for her contribution to education in this country, acknowledged the writers who have documented Tobago's history over the years. She's hoping these publications will contribute to the education of upcoming generations.
I have a dream that out of the work of the writers on Tobago, Carlton Utley, J.D. Elder, Douglas Archibald, Larry Luke, Rita Pemberton, Deborah Moore Miggins, Mervyn O'Neill, to name a few, out of all this will one day come skits and plays written and performed by teachers and children in schools, feature films, historical dramas.
The Tobago House of Assembly contributed to the restoration project because of the significant role of the church in the island's history. It's being regarded as an investment instead of an expense.
This building really is one of Tobago's landmark historical buildings, and we in the Assembly believe wholeheartedly in preserving, respecting, and cherishing our unique culture, traditions, and history.
The Chief Secretary says Tobagonians appreciate and admire Professor Craig James for her excellent work in documenting Tobago's history over the years. I'm Karima Mackenzie Thomas for Let's Talk Tobago.
The property reflects a contemporary style and returning guests adore it. They love that the owners are conveniently located just 1 house away. So members of the St. Patrick Anglican Church participated in an ancestral walk to highlight the importance of the history of the church in Tobago. Have a look at this story.
They walked from Mount Irvin Beach with bricks in hand to St. Patrick's Anglican Church in Mount Pleasant, reenacting the trek taken by former slaves who carried fire bricks from the ships to construct the church. The building still stands tall.
This year we celebrate, this is the 17th year since its inception. And every year on this walk we see new faces, a new participant making the walk. We come to remember those who labored to make this beautiful building possible. And one such person is Jane Lovell, one of the last known slaves who transported the bricks from Mount Irving Beach to this place.
The property was declared a historical site by the Tobago House of Assembly. It's just one way of highlighting the importance of the church's history to the island.
This place, a place that your ancestors have contributed to, has resulted in the spiritual, emotional, and psychological upliftment of this community and indeed environs. As members of this church family, you continue to stand on the shoulders of your ancestors and continue to be shaded under those large trees, those trees that allow for the protection of those within this community.
The church was built in the 1840s. The walk is aimed at ensuring members of the parish and the Tobagonians overall appreciate the importance of the island's culture. Cultural heritage connects us to social values, beliefs, and customs that have been vital in Tobago's progress. Jane Lovell was remembered and specially honored for leading the conveyance of the bricks from Mount Irving to Mount Pleasant. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Bayleaf Suites enjoys a 5-star rating on Facebook. The owner, Mrs. Adams, also comes in for high praise. The price and location are also key selling points for the accommodation. In an effort to ensure equity in Tobago's educational system, successful SEA students were provided the opportunity to participate in a vacation enrichment program. Here are the details.
Successful secondary entrance assessment or SEA students who were identified as needing additional support following the exam were invited to an enrichment program, and over 4 weeks they worked to enhance their numeracy and literacy skills. This intervention by the Division of Education, Innovation and Energy is empowering the students as they get set for the next phase of their educational journey.
This vacation enrichment program is a follow-on from the post-secondary entrance assessment exercise, which was conducted in most of our primary schools. And this program also focused on the skill development of students. We are all aware that children develop at different rates and in different ways. And therefore, we as educators constantly find ways and we seek ways to address the needs of those students who need extra help.
The program ran at various centers across the island: Roxborough Secondary, Goodwood Secondary, Scarborough Secondary, Bishop's High School, and the Bethesda Multipurpose Facility. Over 40 volunteers conducted sessions and managed the centers. Their efforts are helping to boost the confidence of our students as they move on to secondary school. The students were also exposed to arts and craft, music, information technology, photography, clothing and textiles, as well as food and nutrition.
I was sent to these summer classes because I did not do too well in my C exam. I enjoy coming here. I enjoy doing revision of some things I already know and doing and learning a lot of new things too. When I go to secondary school, I am going to change my work ethics and study extremely hard.
And a special plea was made to parents to partner with the division in the best interest of the students. The participants will be monitored at their respective secondary schools. An appeal was also made to teachers.
Those of us who have responsibility, direct responsibility for educating our children must be made to account for the work they do or they don't do on a daily basis. After all, you as taxpayers are the ones who pay them. And therefore you as taxpayers must be prepared to inquire about the return on your investment, that is your tax dollars.
The students' individual and psychosocial assessments, which were conducted during the program, will be made available to their respective secondary schools. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Coming up next, we tell you what is being done in Tobago to treat with diabetes. Stay with us. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back.
Happy times. Summer car done, summer car, 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 summer car done, yeah, summer car.
Bayleaf Suites is one of the providers participating in the State Getaway campaign by the Ministry of Tourism. As a result, they have special discounted rates on all bookings made by August 31st. Additionally, guests who make bookings for 2 nights get to collect 2 free passes to the Pigeon Point Beach facility. Now, are you ready for battle? In an effort to protect children from diabetes, one organization decided to host a 3-day camp to raise awareness about the condition. Here's more.
Tobago is staging an all-out war on diabetes. The number of people with the disease has been rising steadily on the island and also worldwide. In fact, World Health Organization figures for 1980 estimate that there were 108 million diabetics across the globe. In 2014, that figure stood at 422 million. 2 years ago, the International Diabetes Federation identified 542,000 children under the age of 15 with type 1 diabetes. So here's what's being done in Tobago. According to Medline Plus, until recently, only type 1 diabetes was found in children and teens. This is where the pancreas doesn't produce insulin, a hormone that helps glucose or sugar get into your cells to create energy. Without insulin, too much sugar stays in the blood, which can be fatal. With type 2 diabetes, the body becomes insulin resistant and can't produce enough insulin to manage your blood sugar level. As more young people are being affected, the Diabetic Association of Trinidad and Tobago hosted its first 3-day children's camp on the island.
Long ago, you used to see children playing all over, all different sorts of games. But today, the only game they are playing is with their fingers and a computer or some device where they are playing games. Also, because of the eating habits of children, where mothers fill their school bags with a set of unnecessary and sweet snacks, you find children become obese or fat or put on weight. And obesity is one of the contributing factors to diabetes.
Trinidad and Tobago has the highest number of people living with diabetes per capita in the Western Hemisphere. And the Division of Health, Wellness and Family Development has declared war on diabetes and other non-communicable diseases. One means of attack is through family support.
You cannot become a good citizen if you do not maintain health. Your health is important, and therefore we are encouraging today through your efforts those children such that they could be healthier even though they have the condition. Let me just say that while we recognize the need for the self-care and so on, that the children's quality of life is important. We focus on, yes, the functional, physical parts of the child, but that we must recognize the emotional, social, psychological areas.
One individual can't win a battle, so teamwork is important. The division will be partnering with the Division of Education, Innovation and Energy in the fight against diabetes.
In the very near future, we'll be launching a Healthy Eating in Schools initiative. All right, and this program, of course, is geared towards assisting our boys and girls in our learning institutions so that they can adapt better eating habits and choose better lifestyles.
The camp was hosted at the Lowlands Multipurpose Facility. I'm Karima Mackenzie Thomas for Let's Talk Tobago.
Management facilitates all types of events, from weddings to birthday parties, right here. That's why, in an effort to improve customer service, they train staff to ensure they meet international standards. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Tobago Division hosted its biannual Sports and Family Day at the Mount Pleasant Recreational Grounds. Here are some highlights in this report.
It was all fun and games as police youth clubs paraded the Mount Pleasant Recreation Ground recently at their biennial Goodwill Sports. 13 youth clubs participated in this year's event, which was revived in 2017 after a long hiatus. And although the competitors were firmly focused on securing the win, the primary objective of the initiative is to foster a strong relationship between the youth clubs, police officers, and the public.
I want to encourage each and everyone participating in these games to see it in the context of what is intended, bringing police officers and youth clubs together in one location to enjoy each other's company, have fun, and continue to build relationships as we look to make Tobago a better place.
It was all fun and games as police youth clubs paraded the Mount Pleasant Recreation Ground recently at their biennial Goodwill Sports. 13 youth clubs participated in this year's event, which was revived in 2017 after a long hiatus. And although the competitors were firmly focused on securing the win, the primary objective of the initiative is to foster a strong relationship between the youth clubs, police officers, and the public. The theme for this year's games was My Family and I. The program boasted a wide range of novelty, team, and track events.
Today is really a pleasure for us to be here today to really have our young people participate in this activity. This is our biannual sport that the Youth Club of Trinidad and Tobago normally take part. Today is not really a day that they are losers. Look at all of you as winners.
The Goodwill Sports was organized by the Community Policing Unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Services Tobago Division. This year, the Signal Hill Police Youth Club took the overall win, and second was the Charlottesville Police Youth Club. Officers representing the Scarborough and Roxborough police stations also stepped up for the march past. The Roxborough police officers emerged the winners. The Goodwill Sports was hosted for the first time in 17 years. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's time to have Your Say, the segment of our program where we hear what you, the viewers, have to say. Today we are asking, what's your favorite spot in Tobago and why? While you think about it, let's take a look at who had their say this week.
Actually, I think my favorite spot in Tobago will be Mount Irvin. Why? Mainly because of the views. I like to see people surf. I like to see the sunsets.
My school, Scarborough Secondary, because I have a lot of friends there and I enjoy classes and the teachers.
One of my favorite spots in Tobago is the Rain Restaurant. Why? Because the food is good, the food is healthy, and of course, it's a local person. I support local.
It's all about Pigeon Point. My favorite spot.
Why?
Real, lively entertainment.
Boku Reef, the beach is nice. It's a nice scenery, people, a lot of people.
We went in the river yesterday, and that is what we call that place, Mason Hall, Lekito. Straight right up, and the water was real nice. The place was serene.
We close another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. We close now with a montage of the Chief Secretary and the Secretary's walkabout in the Canaan Bonaccord area.